This is a review of factors and multiples. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to create a list of multiples for any number, and you should be able to determine factors for a given number. Every number has multiples and every number has factors. So what exactly are they? Sometimes when I think about multiples, I think about skip counting. So let me show you what I mean by this. If I asked you to find multiples of 5, you could skip count by 5, and every single one of those numbers would be a multiple of 5. So if I asked you to count by 5s, you'd say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and this would go on and on forever, right? Another way to think about this is all of these numbers are numbers that can be divided by 5 without a remainder. So let's take a look at multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Again, on and on forever. These would never ever stop. And I can I can divide all of these numbers by 3 and get a nice answer that has no remainder. So 3, that's Rex. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, 6 divided by 3 is 2, 9 divided by 3 is 3, and so on. So if someone asked you to write the first 5 multiples of 6, remember the first multiple of 6 is always going to be 6. The first multiple of any number is that number itself, because I can divide it by 6, right? Okay, so 6, 12, Rex is helping me with this video. 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. Notice it would never say write all the multiples of 6 because that would be an impossible task. All right, the first 5 multiples of 7, think about this one. The first 5 multiples of 7 are 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. If there was a question that asked you to write the first 5 multiples of 7 and you left off 7, that would be a wrong answer. Be careful about that. So factors of a number are numbers that you can multiply together to get that number, okay? So for example, if I said, what are factors of 21? You'd be thinking, what numbers can I multiply together to get 21? And the first answer is always going to be 1 and the number itself. I can always multiply 1 times the number to get that very same number. What else can I multiply to get 21? 3 times 7. And that's it. So my factors of 21, I'm going to rewrite these in numerical order, are 1, 3, 7, and 21. This is a finite list. There are no others. These are the factors of 21. And just like everything, if you know your multiplication facts really well, this will be a lot easier. If multiplication facts are something that you struggle with, you need to practice them with flashcards or an app because they really just don't go away. Sometimes you might be asked, what is the greatest common factor of two numbers, in this case 10 and 12? So in order to figure that out, we need to know the factors of 12. And again, we always start with 1 times that number. Both of these are factors of 12. I can multiply them together to get 12. 2 and 6, I can multiply those together to get 12. 3 times 4, I can multiply together to get 12. So I'm going to write a list of these factors in numerical order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And the factors of 10, again, I'm going to start with 1 and 10 always. I can multiply 2 times 5. When a number is even, I always know that 2 is going to be a factor. 3 times nothing gives me 10, 4 times nothing gives me 10, and now I'm back to 5. So my list is done. I've got 1, 2, 5, and 10. So now I'm going to compare these two lists to see what is the greatest common factor between them. In other words, the biggest number that is the same between both of these lists. 1 never counts because every single number has 1 as a factor. So we need to see, is there another number that is the same between these two lists? And there's no 3, there's no 4, there's no 6, there's no 12. So it looks like 2 is the greatest common factor between 10 and 12?